diabetic, they become more sedentary, this problem is exacerbated. Okay, so it's not something, and you know, Dr. Hampson, it's been bugging me for a little while, right? You know, I'm PC, I'm Metro, I'm gorgeous, right? And I struggle, you know, should we don't even do it? Should we? we don't want to be on the side of the fence that has people ashamed to leave their houses. We don't believe that. Obviously, listen, guys, you know, we talk a lot about female reproductive health issues. We've had a lot of women in our coaching sessions, even on these calls, talking about they bleed so heavily. They can't wear white. They choose not to leave their houses for weeks at a time because they're worried about if there may be an accident or something. We understand these stigmas. We understand the social implication. We understand the trauma it can cause. I don't think anyone in their right mind is saying that people who are overweight or obese shouldn't leave their house or they should be ashamed to walk down the street. And I think that's partly where they kind of take that position and they blow it up to be now, well, no, let's celebrate that obesity. Guys, we do have a condition that so many of us suffer from that we need to talk about. One of the reasons we started the Great Black Detox was explicitly, not even specifically, explicitly, to talk to the obesity issue, to talk to the overweight issue, to talk to all of the pre-existing conditions, the underlying conditions that are affecting black people. We've come full circle now to a point that, you know, again, COVID's kind of died down now. It's not so prevalent in the post, in the news. Not everyone cares about Putin and Ukraine. And then they're turning their eyes to some other things that maybe we should have addressed prior to COVID. And definitely during COVID, we tried, did we not? We got shut down trying to bring awareness to some of the BS that was being orchestrated by even some of the black leaders in our community. Obesity, guys. I would wager that everyone on this call has someone in their family who's overweight or obese. I would wager that there's a percentage of people on this call who have been overweight or obese in their life, or may even be overweight and obese now. What you have to understand is that we're not here to shame you people. You know, you people. God, I sound like one of those guys. We're not here to shame anybody.
You might as well do the Nazi sign right now, man. Right. The salute. You people.
You people. I've gone all the way now. Goodness gracious. I've been in America too long, in North Georgia. But this is your opportunity. We want you to share this with the world. We want to share this conversation with the world. We've not talked about our solutions. We have the solutions. We've cured. We've helped so many people dealing with obesity and overweight situations to get back to homeostasis, to release that toxic fat, the GBD 14-day fast. You guys have all seen that during these calls, people who could give their testimonies before and after, how much they weighed, how they felt, the mental clarity. Dr. Amson, we didn't talk about how many hours, how many thousands, tens of thousands of work hours are missed each year because people suffering comorbidity, chronic diseases like obesity have to take off of work. They can't get to work. The slightest cramp or the slightest ankle situation, they can't get out of bed. You know, if they live in the wrong part of the country and they don't have those mobility, disability services, you know, the wheelchairs and the little mobility chairs and stuff, they can't go shopping. If they don't have a family member that's able to take them to the store, they can't go to the store. They can't go to the doctor. They can't go to the dentist. They can't go to school. This is more than just a body image. This is something that is inhibiting large swathes of the black community from participating in society. So it's a lot bigger than how you look. And I think we need to be clear about that. You know, we come from the health angle. We're saying, hey, listen, look, we're trying to stop you from dying. If that doesn't ring the alarm, then I'm not sure what to do. But one message that can I send, Dr. Amsley, I think you may echo this, is that do not celebrate your disease. Yes, you can learn to live with your disease. Yes, you can be empowered to try and combat your disease. And yes, you can empower and encourage the rest of us to support you in getting through that disease. But do not make your disease an identity that other people want that disease. Goodness gracious, Dr. Amsa, are we living in the world now?
It's not a crime to be obese. It's not a crime.
Absolutely not.
But what I consider to be a crime is when you try to encourage others with the lie that it's living your best life.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we do know in certain cultures, if you are overweight or whatever, you're considered that you're living well.
In Africa,
you're rich.
Africa, parts of Asia, absolutely.
You know, you're wealthy because, look, you're eating well.
Yeah, okay.
Right? But if you're obese, it actually means that you're not eating well. Mm-hmm. It means that you're eating terribly, right? Unless you know, there's a glandular issue. You know, you have your thyroid gland. You have hypothyroidism. But then, how did you end up with hypothyroidism? Hypothyroidism is something where through what you've ingested, right? Somewhere along the line, you've ingested substances that have led to your thyroid gland being attacked, whether it's by pro-inflammatory cells or by toxins, right? So something that's been ingested throughout your life has resulted, you created a condition that your thyroid gland has become hypoactive, underactive, right? So there's ways of correcting that, right? There are people who say, well, it's genetic. Whatever genes are being expressed within your body, there's a way of switching off certain genes, right? So whenever we hear something about intrinsic or, a genetic disorder, some genetic disorders can actually be corrected through correct nutrition by, switching off genes that would otherwise cause dysfunction throughout your body. Now, what's a crime is when somebody and the reason why we're starting on Lizzo is because Lizzo is a public figure. She's put herself into the limelight. So we're gonna, that's the most recent. Because back in the day, there was Monique. Everybody remember Monique? When she used to be celebrating her size and used to, be ragging on skinny women, skinny bitches, as she said, right? Not me, y'all. That was what Monique said, right? But she would talk about these skinny women all the time. And then she had a health situation, a crisis, right? An emergency situation where she had to now eat her words and actually start to try to lose weight under doctor's orders. So do you want to live, Monique, or do you want to die? Do you want to die being this celebratory obese person, or do you want to live? I want to live, Doc. Right. Fix up. Correct your diet. Exercise more. Take care. Take charge of your life. Be responsible. Be accountable. And this is the thing, is that, and we want to hear from you guys, right? We want to know if we're going too far, if we're being out of order. We want to hear, if anybody disagrees with what we're talking about. We want to have this conversation because we want to, if you want to debate it out, if we want to say that, we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear if you agree with us, if you disagree, why you disagree. If there's anybody on here who is obese at the moment and wants to shed light on what they think about the whole body positivity, we want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, Tanya, because you're a presenter.
Hi, how are you? I am actually obese, but everyone thinks that I'm great size because I'm 5'9", but I weigh 172. I was 180 something before I went to London, so I lost a lot of weight, thank God. But I'm supposed to be 150, it says. So I'm really overweight. And in my head, I'll always be overweight because I was always like a size 3 naturally without even trying. I was skinny all my life until my second kid. So for me, I notice a difference when I go past 180 and things like inflammation and stuff like that. So it's made a big difference. I even had pain in my heels, the ball of the heel of the foot. Really bad pains when I was up to like 193. I was at 204. I think I went up to 204. And I had bad pains. And my friend who's like a shaman in Mexico said, lose the weight, fat girl, and it'll all go away. and guess what? When I got down to 170, my daughter was like, why are you not mentioning the pain? I said, it doesn't hurt anymore. So maybe, he probably was right. Shut your mouth and lose the weight. So I'm an advocate of, fasting because, and detoxing because I know clearly, the body has to be cleaned out, and especially my body. I'm 57. I call myself healthy, but I did the dumb thing, like had the fibroid surgery before I knew about you guys. So I regret that, but I still know that they can come back. So I still want to, think progressive and stay up on it so that they don't come back. Cause I heard that's not a good look if they do after you had the surgery. Just like gallstones, also they can come back and just move around your body.
Right.
More. So people they think, oh, I had my gallstone removed. I'm good. I can eat anything. No, you can't. So I'm trying to stay on it. I appreciate you guys. But that's my take on my version of obesity is, you know,
Right.
I feel it.
Right, and that's the thing, is that once you start losing the excess fat, right, your adipokines will start to become functional. Your body will start producing AMPK again, right? Your adiponectin will become more functional, and as a result, pains, dolor, which is the one of the cardinals of inflammation, dolor, will decrease. So when people start to lose weight, they say the aches and pains start to go, right? Now, cancers, a lot of cancers are also, you're at triple the risk of cancers, right? So one of the things what Dr. Keeler was speaking about was, with pregnancy, right? Weight of the baby, of the fetus, right? Now, C-sections have become more common because of this. So remember, we're dealing with 75% of black women being obese, which means that baby is more at risk. That means that there's going to be a higher number of necessary C-sections. Even though they're trying to make C-section the norm, where, a vaginal birth is like, what are you talking about? We just cut you open and pull the child out. You don't go through nothing, right? You don't have to go through all that pushing and stuff. What do you want to go through all that for? It's becoming more commonplace, right? Who wins? Who wins? Pharmaceutical industry wins. Because the more sick we are, is the more prescriptions that are going to be handed out. The more prescriptions that are handed out are the more side effects that come from these prescriptions that perpetuate more prescriptions, right? So they want to, this whole beautiful body positivity, this is a ploy by the pharmaceutical industry.
Right.
They are the biggest contributors, biggest advertisers on mainstream media. So if they're the biggest contributors, that means that they control policy. When they don't like something, it's like, we're going to pull out. If you don't fix it up, you best get them skinny women off the TV. You best start promoting more fat black people, right? Because the more we're encouraged to be unhealthy is the more money they're going to make. And that's the reason why we are in a health crisis. Nutrition is not taught in medical school. Pharmacology is taught, but not nutrition. So it's like we have something, we're developing a drug for that.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Amsu, Tanya, listen, always a pleasure. Don't go anywhere. I know you're still here. Thanks for sharing that story. A lot of people, in fact, I actually know a young lady. She was 5'5", 420 pounds, and a college lecturer. Very accomplished young lady. Teaches at a very prestigious black college. I shan't name.
And sure, it was 420, not 320.
Dr. Amsu, she's struggling now. She's lost, almost 200 pounds, I believe, and struggling now, of course, with the excess weight and stuff like that. And she talked about the psychological transition. A lot of people who lose a lot of weight very quickly have issues coping with that. I think Star Jones was one. She talked about when she had gastric bypass surgery. She had the surgery, and her body changed, and she didn't know how to. She didn't recognize her body. She didn't recognize who she was, and she had quite a bit of psychological issues with that as well. Which is why we have the counselling, and I want to get onto that a little bit as well. But I wanted to bring in Stacey. Hey, Stacey, how you doing? I know you had your hand up for a little while. Question, comment, concern? What are you sharing with us today, Stacey?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hey,
we
Stacey.
can. How you doing?
Good. I got a few questions, but I just wanted to first say thank you so much for doing this, and I also appreciate. I know y'all got a little flack for that one video you did about obesity with women, and it can be the truth can be hard for us to hear, especially coming from black men. But I really appreciate. I personally don't have a problem with obesity, but I really appreciate you trying to kind of give it to us in a more gentler way so we can hear it. So,
Sure.
We're gonna go get the strap if y'all don't hear. We're gonna get the strap.
Well, I consider Mr. Breaks is good cop and you bad cop. So balance each other out.
I'm excellent cop. What are you talking about?
You are, but you can be a little harsh
heathen
sometimes. So, but I still appreciate it. But I do have a family member who is obese, and I was encouraging her to come to this call. So she's not here, so I want to ask some questions for her as far as like which particular detox, because she is ready to, she's tired, like you said, of being obese. And so which detox would you recommend to start with? And then like, I also was kind of confused about where to start with the meal plans as far as transition, regeneration, and the elimination.
All right. So let's deal with your obese family member. Okay, so she can start if does she have aches and pains and stuff like that?
Not really, not yet. She's kind of borderline as far as like her sugar goes. And she's tall, she's pretty tall, so it kind of balances out, but her main thing is she's just tired of being fat, is what she said.
All right. So we have the Great Black Fat Detox, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a 30-day intermittent fast. 30-day intermittent, right? Now, it's a more gradual way of losing fat and losing weight. Mm-hmm. But, you know, people who are scared, afraid of the going 14 days without eating, right? Like, man, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Those defeatists, right? This is what we've got in place for them, where it's still somewhat aggressive, but at least they get to eat every day, right? So they get a 2-hour window in which to eat each day, and they have the supplements to give them the nutrients their body needs. Mm-hmm. And the 30 days is really a trial period of, I can do that, all right, you know, and then you just keep it going. So we want the whole world to be intermittently fasting.
Yeah.
And to be putting quality foods. So it comes with a meal plan, and in that meal plan is quality foods, and it's about the three thronged situation, which is the frequency that you eat, which is once a day, the quality of what you eat, and the amount of what you eat. So when somebody is obese or when we're overweight, it means that our caloric intake, right, far exceeds our caloric output, or how much energy we burn. So there's a lot of people who are obese, right? And they've heard, go to the gym, get on a treadmill. Mm-hmm. But what they do first thing in the morning is they hear, oh, you need your pre-workout protein, your protein shake, right? So pre-workout, you got people who want to take stuff before they go to the gym. And it's like, no, don't introduce more calories. Don't introduce proteins to your body. If you're trying to burn calories, right, you're trying to get into the fat, because when you start using more calories in your muscles, and basically there are 3 things that allow you to burn calories, and you know, it's stress, working out, or you know, some people if they're ill, right, or fasting, right? So those things will put your body into a state where it's now using the stored energy to feed the muscles, right? So when we work out, our muscles are like, give me some energy. I need some energy. So there's, you know, muscular fat, right? That provides that energy immediately, right? When we fall short of that muscular fat, it starts to go to other areas of the body where there's other stored fat. So in reverse of that, when we're not using energy, our body starts to store this, these triglycerides in our adipocytes. And basically, we don't lose fat cells when we lose weight, right? This is one of the myths that's out there. We have, in our adult life, we have the same amount of fat cells, just that these fat cells grow. So the amount of triglycerides, basically each cell will go to its limit and will expand, hypertrophy, and then when it reaches to its limit, the triglycerides will go to the next adipocyte, and so on and so forth, right? So when we start to lose weight, it's the reverse. So adipocytes start to lose triglycerides, right? So when we do this intermittent fasting and we're active, we increase caloric output or energy output, right? We start to use more energy. When we start to use more energy, it starts to decrease or atrophy those adipocytes, right? So she can either do the 14 if she wants to see faster results. She does the 14 first. And this is what I say to people who do the 14. When you finish the 14, don't go back to your old dietary habits.
Yeah.
Don't go back to 3, 4, 5 meals a day. Don't go back to snacking. Stick with the supplements. Stick with the coconut water and the structured water, right? Stick with those things, because when something makes you feel wonderful, makes you feel great, where energy levels are high, your cognition is way higher, you're waking up energized, you want to keep that feeling. Who wants to go back to the old ways? It doesn't make any sense. So stick with it. So eat less amounts. So I eat once a day. I do a 23-hour intermittent every day, right? We eat at about, 3 o'clock?
Right.
3:30, and that's it for me. It might take me an hour to eat it. Depends on what game's on, right? Right? But all the way to the next day. But I am drinking. I do drink juices. I drink water. I drink my structured water, right? I drink coconut water, and I have my supplements. I take my supplements twice a day, before I go to bed and first thing when I wake up. And I don't feel hungry. Even if, I might be in a room and you can hear like a growly bear going off or whatever, that might be my stomach, but I don't feel hungry. Mm-hmm. Right? And I don't get hangry. I don't get all anxious and start to feel, get angry and short-tempered and all that kind of behavior, because I've conditioned myself. But she can do the 14 or do the 30. If she does the 30, then she should continue until she reaches her ideal weight. And when she reaches her ideal weight, she can say, all right, I'm still going to intermittently fast, but I give myself a bit of a longer window where I might eat twice. But again, it's about the caloric intake. Once you understand the science of how the body works, you can adjust accordingly. So,
well, what's the difference between the meal plans as far as the 14-day and the 30-day?
Well, the 14-day, there is no meal plan because you're not eating anything.
Just the reassimilation.
Okay,
Just the reassimilation and the life after detox. Whereas with the 30, these are meal plans that are set for like one meal. And that in that meal, it can be a 3-course meal, but again, it's the quality and the portion has to be where, if you want to lose weight, don't, right now, Muslims are going through the month of Ramadan. Has that ended? Is it still going?
It should be roundabout now. Maybe just last week.
It's maybe it's still going.
This is
the
the
last
last
week,
week now,
right?
yeah.
But one of the problems what I see with a lot of Muslims is, soon as the sun sets, Out comes the mountain. It's
Feast.
like, what was the point of you not eating all day if you're gonna eat triple
Crap.
the amount? So the calories that you were supposed to not have, you're piling them on, right?
Uh-huh.
And they break their fast with dates, which is great to do, absolutely great. The science, we know we got science in the Middle East and in Africa, right? Because what the nutrients in the dates are absolutely fantastic as a first meal or to break a fast, right? The polyphenols and flavonoids in dates, great, right? But then out comes the lamb, out comes the bread, whatever's put into the gravy, right? The chicken,
Cheese.
the cheese, the milk, all these things, all these blasphemies. And then, it's the science. So that's, why was this ordained or mandated for Muslims to follow? Because it's supposed to be a detox. Once a year, you're going to detox for a whole month, just in case you're eating badly. But the message was lost by the quality and the type of foods that are eaten and the amount of food that's eaten once they break their fast. So I prefer that people do a 14 where they don't eat anything for 14 days. And then after they do the reassimilation, they have a strict diet. Or do a 30 where they have a strict diet for 30 days. Right?
Okay.
And there's lipo-RX. Lipo-RX increases metabolism while it helps with burning fat. Right?
Okay.
So
then she'll be. So if she just, I don't think we've already talked about that. She's already concerned about. She doesn't like the taste of coconut milk and coconut water, and she loves cheese. And so I'm working on her with her mindset. I was like, you need to decide what you want to do, because you're not going to be able to eat all this stuff.
Now
I think the 30-day is going to be.
But she can't be doing no cheese during the tell her no cheese during the 30 days, because this is the thing. Most black women love cheese.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing to give up in the fast, because I remember that when I was
right.
Yeah.
So in cheese, there's casomorphines. There's morphines. It's addictive.
Mm-hmm.
It's addictive. So the same neurotransmitters that are initiated and released when you eat cheese are the same as if you're on crack or on morphine, right? The same euphoria.
I believe it.
The same. So when women, a lot of women who, whether they're going through a breakup, he cheated or, whatever, or they broke up because they cheated and they're in celebration, they go for the cheese because they want to feel as good, they want to feel great. So those casomorphines are terrible. It's addictive. So that's why it's so hard. It's like, man, I'm craving cheese. It's a true craving. It's an actual thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I got her straight. Now, can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
I actually got two more questions. So now this is about me. I had purchased the Great Fibroid Detox.
Uh-huh.
I don't have fibroids, but I had basically had endometrial hyperplasia. And so the plan was for me to go ahead and do the detox and not do the biopsy and the DNC, but the nurse in me, conventional person, still wanted to get the diagnosis. So I went ahead and had the biopsy and everything, and the pathology, everything came back negative. So my question is, I'm also postmenopausal. So my question is, do I need to still, would it be beneficial? I'm sure it'd probably still be beneficial for me to take the supplements and do the detox.
So
Or do I need to wait?
let me ask you this.
Or do I need to wait? Or do I need to do both? Or how does that work?
So Yes, absolutely. We encourage. See, we are a supplement, and supplement is supplemental, meaning whatever you have in your diet, we're supplementing that with nutrients that we know your body needs to guarantee. We want to ensure that your body is getting nutrients it needs. Now, there's a product on the market called Ensure, right?
Oh, we should talk
That
about
milk product called Ensure. And it's a great name. Wish we thought of that first, right?
Nourishment was the version.
Ensure. To ensure, supposedly, that you are getting the proteins and the vitamins and nutrients that your body requires, right, to operate. But this is all synthetic, milk-based, right? Artificial colors, flavorings, maltodextrin, all these added sugars, right? Carbs, whatever, and they are inflammatory. They create an inflammatory response in the body. So you might not, and I know Ensure, a lot of skinny black women, black girls, underweight folk, that's what they have. People who have eating disorders, it's like, I don't want to eat nothing, but I'm going to get an Ensure then. Right? I know a lot of people who buy their skinny daughters Ensure. Women who trying to put some mass on their glutes, right? They'll do Ensure. Mm-hmm. So what we do with our supplements is providing your body with nutrients without all the calories.
So I'm thinking it can help with my hormonal issues.
Yes.
But I mean, basically, I don't really want to do the detox, the actual diet. I'm trying to figure out if I can get away, since I'm okay with if I can just take the supplements and still reap the benefits of that hormonally wise. All
right. So here's the thing. As Mikey was saying, we've got a lot of.
My diet basically is I'm mostly pretty much.
You eat clean. You eat well. You
believe. You believe you're eating clean.
I eat from the list really good, but I'm not 100%.
All right. So here's what I'm saying. Right? Do you eat chicken?
Not often. In moderation. I eat everything like literally
like
maybe.
This is a yes or no. This is a yes or no.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Not every day.
All right. So you eat chicken. Do you eat fish?
Yes. Sometimes, very rarely, but yes.
Do you ever eat like oxtail?
No.
Curry goat?
No.
Turkey?
Sometimes, yeah.
Bacon?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sausages?
No.
All right. Burgers?
No, I don't do these.
All right. So you eat the swine, you eat the chicken, you eat turkey,
you
and you eat
me
fish.
About how often? No, ask me what I ate yesterday.
No, but all right. So check this out.
And I haven't eaten today yet.
All right. So all right. So let's just pretend this is Alcoholics Anonymous, right? and I've got on my sobriety ring, right? I've got my 1 week, then I got my 1 month, then I got my 6 month, and then I drink. I'm starting right back over again because I've fallen off, but I jump back on, right? So and I'll go even further. If I'm a crackhead, I'm on crack and I can't be trusted. And I'm like, I haven't had crack in 8 months. But then I go and have crack. And then I say, you know what? I had some crack yesterday, but it's only been once. Let me come by yours. You're going to be like, nah, nigga. You ain't coming around my house. We try to hide the silverware. Right? So the same goes with how your body operates. Right? When you detox and you eat clean, your body is actually starting to get rid of excess in certain hormones. Excess in parasites and pathogens and microbes, right? It starts to clean itself because your body's always trying to do that. But when you now reintroduce the culprit, your body now has to start over again. Because sometimes all it takes, sometimes all it takes is one meal that can give you a parasitic infection, can give you worms, can introduce something into your body that results in BV, that results in H. pylori. Do you understand? So even though you eat those things in moderation and you've managed to keep certain conditions at bay, like they're not there, as you're getting older, you're more susceptible. You're going to be more susceptible. So you don't want to end up with a condition and then say, right, now I'm going to give up the meat. And we're not just talking about meat. We're talking about other factors. So there are other factors, household detergents and household cleaners, furniture polish, Windex, all these things that you will inhale, right? That contribute as endocrine disrupting chemicals. They disrupt the way how your body operates. So add that to now, right? Let me get, man, I'm gonna have some wings this weekend. I'm gonna have my cheat day, right? Your body's ability to correct itself has been disrupted by your environment or by what you put on your skin, right? Or other foods that you're eating. So they all contribute.
Okay, so but you don't think that if you are like eating really good and your body is really healthy, that the little bad, it can like outweigh the bad?
All right, so let me put it like this. All right, so how old did you say you were?
50.
All right, so you're 50. Does your body look the same as when you were 25?
Hell no.
Don't make me laugh. See, I'm trying to be a gentleman here. You make me laugh, right?
I appreciate it.
So this is the thing. Our bodies are supposed to not change. Our body shape is not supposed to change. The change of body shape happens because of what we put into our bodies. When we're out of shape, right? And this is literally out of shape. Your adipose tissue changes your form.
That's true.
Muscles retain shape, right? Why adipose tissue changes our shape and our form and our chemical behavior and our psychological behavior. Everything changes, right? So there are on IG and on TikTok and whatnot, there's a whole bunch of where you're seeing all these old black men who are in their 70s who are doing chin-ups. They're ripped. And people are saying to them, what are you doing? I don't eat no meat and I work out every day. And they look in the same shape as when they were in high school, right? Or in college. That's what we're all supposed to be. So when you look in the mirror, right, it's about, all right, do I have my body that and here's where I'm at. Me personally, right, I have to be in the same shape as I was. I have to be able to do what I did when I was in high school, when I was in college, when I was in med school. I want to look the same. I can maintain that. How do I maintain that? I'm going to study. I'm going to research on that to make sure I'm applying that science to myself. Know thyself. So if you eat something and it gives you the runs, your body has let you know, don't put that in. Don't do that again. If you get bloated, don't do that again. Yeah. If you it's summer or during winter And then summer comes around, you're like, man, I put on like 20 pounds this winter. What did I do wrong? You have to be analytical and say, right, let me go through everything I'm putting. And sometimes people will say, you know what, I'm doing everything right, but I'm still not right. So, okay, what household products do you use? Where do you work? What's the environment? Where do you live? Is there a farm nearby that's putting out pollutants and whatnot? So there are other factors. But what you put into your body or on your skin or what you have in your home, those are voluntary actions that you have power over, right? So where you want to be, and that's the thing about being honest with yourself. And this, I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to everybody who's on this call, right? Everybody in the internet world who may see this. You have to be honest with yourself, brutally honest with yourself, and be like, am I satisfied with how I look and how I feel? And how I feel is psychological as well as energy, as well as my response time, how sharp-witted I am. You know? So it goes, it's a holistic situation when it comes to you. So when you put something into your body that is a toxin, you've poisoned yourself. And as parents, when we're parents now, and a lot of, you'll get somebody who's trying to keep themselves in order, like, you know, I look good, but they go and buy their children ice cream or Takis or whatever, and they poison their children. They buy Kool-Aid and whatnot, and they're actually setting their children up to have type 2 diabetes. Or to have, you know, right now, more and more black children are being diagnosed with ADHD, right? Mm-hmm. Behavioral disorders. And parents don't want to take the responsibility that, you know what can I do to avoid this situation? Not to what can I do to remedy it? What can I do to avoid it? Don't give them meat. Don't give them dairy. Don't buy no processed food. Don't buy them candy or cookies or whatever. Always read ingredients. As parents, we are the gatekeepers of our children's digestive systems, of their gut health, of their overall, their neurological, psychological health. We're the gatekeepers of what enters into their bodies. So nobody on this call is going to want their child, you know, your child who's 8 or 9, yeah, can I get some of that Jack that you're drinking? Right? Let me take a hit of that hookah or that weed or them, you know, them Blacker Miles, right? We don't want that for our children. But there are worse toxins in those treats we give our children. They're worse than them smoking.
Yeah. So guys,
you had one more?
Yeah, did you have one more?
I did have one more, and this is for my mother. She's got some osteoarthritis in her knee, and they had recommended for her to take some, I think it's meloxicam, something anti-inflammatory, something that'll make her stomach bleed. And I was just wanting to know what's good for any kind of arthritis, joint, and that's also for me too, because I got I'm getting older and got some arthritis and stuff too.
All right, so you see that meat you was just talking about that you have every so often? Give that up, first of all. Give that shit up. Okay. Right? But we do have, one of the things that's good for that is the GBD14. But we have a supplement called Joint RX, which is specifically for inflammatory conditions, arthritic conditions.
Okay, so you can take all of these supplements. Can I take them all at once?
Yeah.
At the same time?
Yes. So Joint RX is anti-inflammatory, but it's actual extremely powerful but great nutrients from fruits and barks and seeds.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you for giving it to me straight up. I already knew what you was gonna say, but
Okay.
Thank you.
appreciate it.
And Stacey, you're not old. We're all getting older. We're born getting
Older.
We are born getting old. You know, from the moment of conception, we're getting older. You know, we talked about this on one of the calls some time ago, that all of us, you know, Dr. Amsu and I probably included to some degree, you know, we're conditioned with this age, you know, the age brackets. And as you get closer to an age bracket, you start to assume the ailments and the conditions and the sort of psychology that go with that age bracket. But you feel okay. I mean, I feel great, but wait, I'm 40. Well, I need to stop playing soccer. I need to stop running. I've got to wear certain shoes. You know, I got to, you know, yeah, the AARP letter comes through the post. But you are as young as you make your body feel.
Start shopping at Target.
You start shopping at Target. You know, it's like you got to start complaining about kids and stuff. You know, we're as old as our psychology, right? You're absolutely going to slow down as you get older. We know this, right? But wouldn't it be great to be as agile and as athletic and as fit mentally and physically as you were? Maybe not when you were 17, but, you know, in your 20s, in your early 30s, to have that kind of mentality. And if that means doing some activities that folks your age don't do, screw them. Go and do it. Run, swim, jump, you know, do that youthful stuff to keep yourself physically and mentally alert and physically and mentally youthful. I just take issue. I've got friends, Dr. Hamilton, we talked about, you know, especially girls for some reason, that when they were in school, it's like they couldn't wait to be old ladies. You know, they had on the beret, they wear mittens, you know, they walk with their hands like this. I don't know what you call that. It's like they can't wait to be their mums and their grannies. And I'm like,
I know what
no.
you call that. I'm not going to say.
I'm like, no, listen, be young, be youthful. Don't be immature, don't be a child, but, you know, enjoy your body while you still have it. You know, do things, hopscotch. You know, when's the last time you jumped over something that was more than 6 inches high, you know, without worrying, oh my God, let me go around. Jump, run, jump, skip, hop.
And if you trip up, you didn't have to listen to us.
But we should be in our 60s and 70s and still sprinting around if we need to, if we'd like to. It concerns me. I don't know what. You
know what I blame? I blame the electric slide, man.
You blame
electric slide
when that
because
kicks in,
when that kicks, that's why I don't do it.
Grown folks.
When I see a line of electric sliders, I'm like, nah, man. I'm gonna stand on the side. I'm gonna be doing my old dances.
Because if you do the electric slide, it means you're old.
It means but that's why it's there, so that you will two-step. You're safe.
Yeah.
You're in the safe zone.
But there's a way of doing it though. So when you do this and you do the dip and then you come back, when you kick really hard into the ground and exuberate yourself. Do you know what I mean? So if you do the electric slide, do it with athleticism. But anyway, you know the point I'm making, guys, is that don't assume that because you're getting older, you hit a certain age, or you're a grandmother now, or your kids are a certain age and you're grown folks and, you know, you're a deacon in your church and people look up to you. Listen, be youthful. Run, hop, skip, jump. Trust me, because there'll be a day when you won't be able to and you're like, man, you know, I could have been doing that for the last 15 years. And because now I'm a grown person, that I don't do it. You know, they have a roller derby. What do they call it when they skate and they fight around the ring? Roller derby, roller disco, whatever it is. And there's one here in Atlanta for grown folks. It's like a, you know, 30 plus or 40 plus league where there's women that roller skate and they barge each other. It's some game. It was big in the 70s, something like that. You know, do that stuff.
Rollerblade. Rollerblade.
No, there's a. You guys know.
Rollerblade.
Is it rollerblade?
Yes, rollerblading.
Is it?
Yes.
How come rollerblading? And they fight. They like barge each other. It's like a game. Okay, they have teams.
Yes.
We need to do that. I can't roller skate, but I want to pick up roller skating, guys, just for Stacey.
No, I'll go and watch that.
You go and watch it, but you won't do it. Okay. Well, listen, Stacey, thanks, guys. Listen, we're going to try and end the call today at 7. We've got however many minutes left till 7. If you guys got any more questions, comments, concerns, those of you in the IG, if you have any questions, you know, to just ask the questions in the IG. We may see it. You know, we did have a power outage, so some of the older ones may have gone. If we didn't get to you, please make a comment in the IG or try and jump over to the Zoom. You've got a few minutes to do that. But let us know. Likewise, for those of you on the YouTube, we're simulcasting on YouTube. And remember, everyone, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's YouTube/The Great Black Detox. It's such an awesome place to be a member.
I think my screen froze on the IG. So
is that what it was?
Yeah,
okay, because I'm not seeing much activity on there. Okay, maybe the IG's died. But if there are no more questions, Dr. Keeler.
The scroll died.
Oh, the scroll died. Okay, yeah. I'll check on my one here. Dr. Keeler, tell us. We love your hair, by the way.
Yeah, I love the hair.
Oh, thanks.
You're
No
glowing
glasses.
all over. What's going on? What's his name?
Who?
What's his name? You're glowing all over.
It's the light.
Is that what it is?
Okay, I'll be brief so that someone else can ask a question. But I wanted to mention that one of the things that is prevalent in the African diaspora, I don't care where you are, wherever there's been colonialism, there has been physical, sexual, and psychological abuse. And a big piece of the obesity is generational trauma. So I'll say, just for instance, in the Afro-Caribbean community, as well as and that includes all speakers of all languages in Central and South America and the Caribbean, because I don't differentiate. I don't care if you speak Spanish, French, Dutch, English, Afro-Caribbean community, as well as in the North American community. There's this thing of emotional abuse. I just saw a post on it where the comedian Patrice, I can't remember his last name, but he was talking about how sometimes women don't recognize that a man will love them, but not want them to be close. His name is Patrice O'Neill.
Right. And
he was saying that as a man, they want you around somewhere where they can get to you, easily. I'm talking about your spouse, okay? Right. But not necessarily in their space. A lot of people don't know where that comes from. You will hear some parents of African descent throughout the diaspora say to their children, when their children come to them for affection,
right,
go get off of me, go somewhere, find something to do. When your child does that, they have a need, just like for food, for your comfort and affection. If they don't get it from you, they're going to get it from somebody else. And if they get it from the predator in your neighborhood, in your family, or someone in your home that you may not know is predatory, it's going to leave them feeling stripped, vulnerable, and feeling like they want to unzip their skin and step out of their own bodies. To self-soothe, the one thing most children do is eat. Mm-hmm. They use food to self-medicate. And when that becomes a habit, whether it's from emotional abuse or physical abuse, beatings, or sexual abuse, or all of the above, it restructures the brain and the body. And the way you utilize nutrients, the nutrients is just information, changes. It changes your physiology because it changes your DNA. A lot of Black children, both boys and girls, experience at some point emotional abuse, physical or sexual abuse. And they don't tell anybody, they don't talk about it, but they self-medicate. For the boys, the abuse makes them feel weak, so they seek to feel strong. A lot of times they'll go overboard in trying to look like an ideal man. With the girls, what else often ends up happening is either they will eat to self-soothe, especially if their abuser said, I approached you because you were cute. And if it's a girl who's a teenager and starting to curve out and develop sexually, if it's her shape, she'll try to eat to eliminate that shape and make herself invisible. But nobody talks about these things. And it's when you see somebody obese, it's not always an abusive past, but it's often a past history of abuse.
Absolutely.
So to deal with one, we also have to deal with the other, because it's easier to conquer the body issue when you conquer the spiritual and the mental issue first, or do them at the same time. You're going to always have resistance when you try to get the person to see
just the physical
Yeah, because they feel very attacked.
Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Keeler. And one of the things I've personally taken issue with in this sort of new wave of political correctness and, creating identities for ailments, conditions, and things that society hasn't had an opportunity to really discuss and, collectively agree on this new way of doing things, but it's kind of forced upon us, is that they don't have the whole conversation. And early childhood trauma is one of the most prevalent, can we call it disease, conditions that plague especially almost the African-American community, the black community globally, because of traumas. Dr. Hampton, we talked on the show one time. I'll just give you one example of someone whose parents had, the cliche 2-3 jobs each, right? So they were latchkey kids, and the parents only literally had enough time at home to sleep and shower, right? And the kids get in their way, they're getting boxed in the head. Listen, move, I got to go to work, leave me alone, like you're saying. Listen, go and ask your sister to help with your homework. I haven't got time for this. If they can't drop them on the way to the next job to swim class or school or Cub Scouts, whatever, they're not going. And the children suffer this thing for, 10, 15 years growing up, the trauma of their parents telling them, no, you can't have it. No, I don't have time. You're going to have to go without. I put food on your table. I don't have the money. And this is just incremental traumas. And you're absolutely right. You made a very good point about especially boys who try to overcompensate by compensating for their lack of affection by, becoming aggressive, and the bullies. It's an age-old thing that almost every bully, when you peel away the layers, is troubled, is either abused at home or is missing some kind of affection, so they act out at school or in any other environment. Almost every bully. They've done this research in people who have dysfunctional behaviors, right? Psychopathic behaviors, psychological behaviors, sociopathic behaviors. A lot of them link straight back. Freud, we don't have to go into that, to their childhood and so on. But Dr. Healy, you made a great point. A lot of this also exacerbates or expresses itself in their physical condition. Mental health issues, which are physical issues, right? Psychological issues, which have a physical component, as you've always said yourself. And then again, of course, this imbalance in the hormones caused by this psychological defect, caused by this trauma, now releases an imbalance of hormones in the body. Now that has its own catalytic effect by, creating dysfunction in the endocrine system. So yes, you can exactly attribute trauma to physiology, trauma to disease, trauma to obesity, right? So absolutely, and this is one of the things I think we're saying, maybe you haven't said it, and we really appreciate you articulating this, Dr. Gill, is that one of the issues and let's go back to Lizzo. We start with Lizzo and we will finish with Lizzo, right? So she's out there celebrating how much she eats and celebrating her big belly, and really, she's cursed people out, right, for calling her out on certain things. She's celebrating her weight, and she's telling young girls, listen, you can be fat, and she's telling the media, oh, this is great. And now we're seeing, every black woman on TV now in every commercial is now obese. Thank you, Lizzo. But what is Lizzo not promoting? Maybe it's not her job, Dr. Amsi, but Lizzo's not promoting the conversation as to why so many people are obese. Yes, we have the food. Yes, we have the drinks. Yes, we have all of the negative things that we imbibe. She's not
promoting why she's overcompensating.
Thank you very much. Because for her to be a real champion of the people would be for her to start having that conversation. So that's something else, Dr. Keelan, and I appreciate you calling out all of us on, is addressing those things as well. Dr. Amsu is always talking about the root cause. We talk about the root cause of a lot of these inflammatory diseases being estrogen dominance, hormonal imbalance. Can we not talk about mental imbalance as well as being the root cause of this, and how we know that, proper nutrition, mental and physical exercise can reverse a lot of these conditions? But it doesn't mean we don't talk about those things. So absolutely, kudos for you for bringing that up. But it's most definitely something that's at the core of a lot of people's eating disorders. Is emotional.
The thing is that it's a health crisis.
Right.
At the end of the day, whatever the etiology, it's a health crisis that needs to be addressed. And we live in a society where most people are buying their entire shopping cart is from Walmart.
Oh my goodness.
Down the aisles. From the aisles or from the refrigerators, right? And it's poisons. And then all the household products are from Walmart.
Your home.
And they're all toxic.
Become the most toxic place.
Toxic. So the ability, life throws traumatic situations at us all the time.
Yes.
But it's within nutrients, resources that our bodies have from within that help us to deal with these traumas. So nutrient therapy is absolutely essential, is key, right, to how we may not deal with it entirely, but it will address it to a certain extent. It does provide cushioning.
Well, you have to have it.
Right, you have to have it.
You know,
so when you have a lack of nutrients, right?
Yeah.
When you are malnourished, you're ill-equipped to deal with trauma.
Absolutely.
So somebody shouts at you, or you know, when I was at school, right? When I was a child, bullying was if you got beaten up. It wasn't teasing.
Right.
That was teasing. But now it's all known as bullying. As children are the most cruel people in the world, right? Because we're not developed as children. We don't understand ramifications and, you know, outcomes of certain things. So we give and we take and we give and we take. Some children can handle it, some children cannot, right? But with correct nutrition, and that's when we were talking about, you started talking about the police earlier on. Right? Police. So when you are malnourished and you do not have resources, you don't have correct chemical response, correct behavioral response to adverse situations, right? So a lot of police, right? Because they're malnourished, they don't have the correct chemical responses, which ends up being that they have anger management issues, right? And they will take that out because they're in authority. They are an authority. They're law enforcement. So now when somebody's like told to get out of the car and it's unjust, and it's like, you best listen to me. Imagine that cop had childhood traumas that have not been dealt with, but now they eat donuts. And this is, look, I thought it was an untrue cliche that cops eat donuts, but they really eat donuts, man. You go, any cop in his car, you get crumbs, you get the sugar, the donut sugar is on their shirt and stuff.
It's tacos, it's, you know, a lot of them eating their cars, so they're getting fast food from the windows. And a lot of restaurants give police free dinners or discounted dinners. And a lot of those places are, you know, fast convenience foods. And so, they're not going back to the precinct and having a sit down dinner. They're on the job eating whatever they can.
And they get these psych evaluations.
Yeah.
If they do act up or whatever, there's psych evaluation, but no one's dealing with their nutrition.
Right.
No one's saying, wait, what did you eat today? What have you been eating over the last 6 months or whatever? So they get obese, they get dysfunctional, they have depression and anxiety. So when they're in a situation of adversity, God help the person.
Yeah.
God help the perp.
Indeed. Well, listen, folks, it's been emotional. It's been great. Obesity is the new black was the title of this session. It may or may not resonate with some people, but we feel from feedback we've gotten and, you know, comments you guys have made and people on the IG, YouTube, and just, you know, people that follow us on social media, they definitely appreciate the conversation. Too often these types of conversations are held on our behalf by people who don't represent us, right? And decisions are made arbitrarily as to how we should feel and react to things in the media and in our communities without our intervention, without our contribution to those conversations. We have to be tired of that. We have to be tired of that. And we have to be brave enough to call ourselves out. We keep saying Lizzo. I don't want to make this all about Lizzo. Guys, you can throw some names out there of people who are contributing to this also, but she's probably the most famous right now, and she appeals to that demographic, young black women, in fact, white women love her, white girls love her. She's a pop artist. She's extremely famous, and people love that bravado. And all of those little things I don't mind at all, except this one issue, right? And we have to call her out. okay, we have to embrace her, perhaps, maybe have a conversation with her and express to her why we feel it's dangerous what she's doing. As much as we respect her right to, and we respect her choices in being flamboyant and brash, that's part of the scene. However, we want to talk to the dangers. Dr. Hampton, go ahead.
Let's look at DJ Khaled. He's obese.
Right.
Right? But he's happy. He's happy. He celebrates life.
Generally. Right.
Generally. Like, you never see DJ Khaled on a downer.
Because he's got
or
$40 million.
complaining. No, but I mean,
I know, I'm playing with you.
All throughout his career, right? DJ Khaled has always been. They said I couldn't do such and such, so I'm doing such and such. They said I would never make it, but I've made it. Such and such. But he's not saying because I'm fat. He ain't attributing his success to his obesity.
No,
he's like in spite of my obesity.
Although, Dr. Amsu, there is an unsaid, unspoken of condition, social condition within the hip hop, rap, R&B community where overweight black men are somehow in vogue. I say it's not spoken of a lot, but and here's the thing, again, not body shaming, but there is a subset of the rap world, the hip hop world, and I think somehow what they're doing is just sort of embracing overweight people and, you know, being sort of inclusive. But at the same time, it's created this thing where, and there are women now, young women that want the big guy with, you know, with the little bag that goes across, the little Gucci bag. I don't know what the hell that shit is, but that's a thing now. Do you know what I mean? So you have to understand now, if you were putting on a little bit of weight for, hey, hold on, I think I need to watch my weight. I need to control it. You know, I say, well, hold on, no, well, I fit this new image now. You know, all I got to do is accessorize properly and I'm good. I don't need to go to the gym. I don't need to watch my weight, you know. And if anyone says anything, they're body shaming me. I now have protection under the law. Well, not the law, but I need under common parlance, common law, that I can now not just be okay with myself, but celebrate it and not have to take accountability for my own self. And I can sort of hide behind that. And so, yes, DJ Khaled isn't promoting his weight, but just as you mentioned that there is a sort of, I don't know if it's an underground, but there's a thing now. And you guys take a look. Maybe Mr. Breaks here is kind of a bit delusional.
Well, 60% of black men are obese.
So they must be somewhere, right?
So
we dress it up.
But you know me, conspiracy theorist, I'll put my hand up, right? Pharmaceutical industry is putting out that narrative because it makes them more wealthy.
Yeah.
So they want us to be obese. They love it. They're loving it.
They're loving it.
And the thing is, the owners of these pharmaceutical companies, they won't have their children or their loved ones partake in any of the nonsense
that they sell.
They'll be strict. They promote liberal left, but in their homes, they're like, nope, you ain't even touching your PlayStation. You get 1 hour, and you know you're not eating any burgers. You know, they can afford gourmet chefs and all, but, you know, they have the best of the best. No, less quality, the best quality.
Yeah.
Nothing of toxicity will ever enter their household. They will not have their own family members on their own drugs.
There you go. And I think we should end the call there. Nothing of toxicity should enter your household. Let's make that the mantra for this call and moving forward. Listen, we want to appreciate everyone for joining the call. We want to thank you all for having us, taking the time out to, you know, our ugly faces in front of your camera. We appreciate the comments, the questions, and any of the concerns. Keep posting, keep following. Make sure you share this. Obesity, folks, as a community, we will address it. We will talk to it, and keep buying Lizzo's albums if you like. But, you know, let's have a conversation with her and everyone else. Listen, guys, you know where to find us. I think everyone on the call is a regular. Last words, Dr. Amsi?
Let's be safe out there. One more, Akila.
But it's about a product, and I'm asking not only for myself but another relative. The Oncogen, I know you have Eliminate, but the Oncogen, is that for non-reproductive tumor? Are they interchangeable, or should they work together? That's it.
Oncogen is basically fights tumors, whether they're malignant or benign. And any growth, unwanted growth in the body, it helps with that. So whether it's benign or malignant. So we have the reproductive version of Oncogen, which is Eliminate.
Thank you. That was my only question.
Okay.
Thank you, Keela.
And Camille's iPhone.
I'm about to press end, but Camille, what's up, Camille? Talk to us real quick. We're gonna put the music behind you.
Hello. Yeah, I've been on for a little while now, but I just want to, because my body's not in a good state at the moment, so I don't want to show my face. I just want to buy something like to eliminate fibroid.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know which one you recommend me to have, because at the moment I don't only have fruits during the day. I just have one meal now in the night for maybe from about 6 months now. So I've just been having loads of fruits and just one meal in the night. And I've been taking a lot of stuff been coming in my body, but not fibroid. So I just want to eliminate it because I'm just sick and tired of having, this getting on top of my nerves. And when I went now, I realized that I've got a bit of hernia. I don't know if it's a fibroid giving me the hernia or if something is strained me, but it's just a bit small one. But I actually can feel the hernia bottom of my stomach. But I just want to get rid of them now. I'm just sick and tired of it now.
Right.
Yeah.
So Camille, I'm sure you asked some questions on our did you ask question on the website?
Yes.
Right. And I emailed you. I personally they forwarded it to me and I sent you an email.
Okay.
You were so check your spam, because it might have gone into your spam. But go to greatblackdetox.com/fibroids.
Okay.
Right? FIBROIDS. Greatblackdetox.com/fibroids.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And in fact, we're actually in the near future we're going to do we're going to do a Zoom call for women in the Caribbean who are suffering with fibroids, because it's becoming really big out there.
West Indies.
Or West Indies, yes.
Yeah,
West Indies, because we don't like Caribbean. We don't like the term
Offend
Caribbean.
anybody, right? Yes.
Right. But yes.
So like I'm just having fruits in the day and so on. I don't have no food at all, nothing this much, just fruits smutting right through for like for 6 hours and just that's it. And then in the night I just have one meal.
So Camille, let's stop you right real quick. And I know we got to close the call, but it sounds like you're doing something, right? Intermittent fasting. It's not that you have one meal a day, it's what you're eating in that meal. And that's what we're going to get to the bottom of, you see? And so you might be doing intermittent fasting, but intermittently eating the wrong thing. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
So that's what we're going to look at as well. So it sounds like you're on the pathway. You want to make that change. And
even though you may be eating the right foods now, there are specific nutrients, right? Nutrients are chemicals, natural chemicals, right?
Yeah.
There are specific chemicals that your body requires to break down the years of the buildup that created the conditions for your body to produce fibroids, right? So even though you might be eating foods that are not going to exacerbate fibroids or promote them, right?
Yeah.
You need within your diet, you need certain nutrients that fight fibroids, and that's what the supplements are for. And we do, and it comes. So when you go to greatblackdetox.com/fibroids, you are going to see that we have the book, the ebook, Got Fibroids, the Fibroid Elimination Bible, and there's the meal plans that go along with the supplements for the natural fibroid elimination process.
Okay. So I'll check it out tomorrow then. Thank you.
All right. You're most welcome, Camille.
Glad you were able to get your question in. Well, listen, folks, we are out of here. As always, look, we're sending maximum love out to you guys. Happy detoxing, happy healing, safe living. Take your time. If you're going to be obese, let us know and we'll walk you through it. We'll be here next week, I believe. Now, did you guys get the Eventbrite? Get the Eventbrite, and you should see we're going to start loading out the topics going forward. We still have the Q&A piece, so it'll be topical. Then we'll have the Q&As, and so you guys can interact that way. And if you have any suggestions for shows or topics, let us know. Drop us a DM, drop us a message. For those of you that are affiliates, you can hit us up in the WhatsApp group or just DM us on IG or any other way you want to catch us. But until that time, be safe. Sending love, guys. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you.